Namaste and welcome to my session. My name is Archita, and firstly, thank you so much for tuning in with me. And Strive with Yoga is basically a social initiative, and it is not just about today's asana or one day, because today is Yoga Day, so everybody is like filled with enthusiasm. But this is a commitment that we will go and do yoga. We will show on our mats for 21 days and make sure that you all spread this challenge with your friends, your relatives, and people whom you care for. And you all can tune in and watch yoga sessions. You all can learn yoga with different trainers, which means that no two sessions will be the same. Each person will have a different style, will have a different flair of teaching, and they will give you more insights on what yoga is and about yoga postures and pranayam, as well as breathing and meditation. So I'm extremely excited. Happy International Yoga Day to each one of you who's watching me live. And today's asanas will be standing. We'll be doing some sitting poses, and then we'll be ending with some lying down poses to relax our lower back. So it will be a combination of different things. There will be a variety of things we'll be doing. And let's get started and see what we have in store for today's session. So I am going onto my mat. The first asana which we'll be doing is a standing pose, which is Uttanasana. So basically it is a forward stretch. So you have to go backwards and then you bend forward. So it is Hasta Uttanasana and Hasta Padasana, right? Anybody having some problem like hernia, any abdominal inflammation or abdominal ulcers, high blood pressure, will not do this asana because it can lead to some adverse effects. So let's see the technique of this asana. You will start by keeping your feet together. Okay? If you feel that you're not able to, balance yourself, or if you suffer from vertigo, then you can keep some distance between your feet. Right? Make sure that the inner side of your feet are parallel to each other. You will inhale, take a backward bend. Okay, nicely expand your spine, and as you exhale, you will bend forward. So if you are comfortable here, please stay here. Okay, today is the first day. If you feel your body is not ready, stay here. No pressure. You force nothing on your body. Fine, you will breathe normally. Stay here for around 10 seconds first. Now if you are a flexible person, you can try shifting your weight on your toes. Increase the stretch. Nicely push your hips up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, you will again come into Hasta Uttanasana. And then exhaling, you will bring your hands down. So first we go back, then we go into Hasta Padasana, we bend forward. So we'll do it one more time. You either keep some distance between your feet or keep your feet together as per your comfort. You will inhale, take a backward bend, nicely expand your chest. As you exhale, keeping your back straight, you will bend forward. Okay, compress your abdominal area. And then you can place your palms on the floor or wherever you are comfortable. If you're not touching the floor, that's great. And remember the time when I couldn't touch the floor either. And then slowly breathe in. And as you breathe out, bring your hands down. So this is a great warm-up. You can start your yoga asana practice with this asana. It will definitely help you, just get your muscles a little more, warmed up, and it will help you throughout your entire practice. Now the benefits of this asana are plenty. Okay, the most important benefit being that the blood supply to your head is enhanced. So there is more blood supply to your brain, and it's a great asana for digestive problems as well. So anybody who wants to improve their digestion, get it all better, this pose is definitely for you. The next pose we will be learning is again standing pose, and that is Utkatasana. Utkatasana or the chair pose. Now this is one pose which is excellent for your lower body, but anybody having any chronic knee issue. So if you are suffering from arthritis, or if you have weak knees, then please avoid this pose because we will put a lot of pressure on our knees. right? So your thighs have to be really strong to endure this asana. So let's see how to do it. You will keep your feet together in this pose, right? You just have to bend your knees and then you will extend your hands up and you will look straight. Just make sure that when you look down, your knees should not go beyond your toes. So your knees and your toes will be in one line. Okay, continue to hold this for around 10 seconds as this is a beginner's class. We are holding all postures for around 10 to 15 seconds, not more than that. Okay, your spine has to be straight. Slowly exhaling, straighten your legs, bring your hands in Namaste. Okay, we'll do this one more time. So you must have felt some amount of pressure in your legs as well as in your abdominal area, which is completely fine. We'll do it one more time. So you will stretch your hands up as you inhale, fold your knees. Okay, just check whether your knees are in line with your toes and then continue to look straight. I don't want your back to be arching too much. Okay, I will slowly come out of the posture and I will also tell you all what mistakes people commonly do when they do this posture. Fine, you bend down, you stretch your hands up and then you try to push your lower back in too much. So don't do that. Okay, keep your lower back relaxed. Your spine has to be straight, no tension, no pressure on your lower back. As you slowly exhale, bring your hands in Namaste and you will relax. So this is one amazing posture to tone your lower body. Anybody who wants to shape up their, glute muscle, thighs, calf muscles, this is great to strengthen your legs. Fine, let's move to the third pose for today, which is in sitting. Now this is one of my favorite poses because this looks easy, but it is not. That is Parvatasana or the mountain pose. So it can be done in two ways. You can do it in Padmasana, you can do it in Sukhasana. So first I will just show you all how to do it in Padmasana. Anybody with any chronic knee pain, avoid doing this pose because it is not advisable that you fold your knees. You will first sit with your legs stretched out. Alright. And then let's do Padmasana first. So what you do is you place one leg. So I'm taking my left leg, placing it on top of my right upper thigh. If you can see, the sole is pointing upwards and try to push your knee down towards the floor. Fine. You will then fold your other leg and then place it one on top of the other. So my right foot is again placed on top. It's almost touching the groin area. So your foot will be pointing upwards and it will be relaxed. You have to stretch your hands at the side. You will take a deep breath in. You will inhale. Stretch your hands up. Keep looking in the front. Take a deep breath in. Slowly breathe out. So once you are into the final pose, you have to breathe normally and let go of any tension, any stress in your body. Okay, we will again hold this for 10 to 15 seconds. Please do this only if you are comfortable sitting in Padmasana. Otherwise, you can wait. We will also do the same thing in Sukhasana. So that will be much easier. Slowly exhaling, turn your palms and then you will bring your hands down. So this was for somebody who has a good amount of lower body flexibility. If not, what you do is stretch your legs out straight, fold one leg, place it under your opposite leg, okay? And then I will just sit with my legs crossed this way. Ensure that your back is straight. So you will again take your hands at the side. You will inhale, take a deep breath in, join your palms in Namaste. Now you will feel this upward stretch, okay? Right from your abdominal area. You will feel your spine nicely stretched up. Continue looking in the front. A lot of people have a habit of looking down this way. So don't do that. You will end up hurting your neck. So look straight. Okay. Open up your chest. Keep pushing your elbows closer. So use your elbows to increase your stretch here. There should be no pressure on your lower back, no pressure around your shoulders. And then as you breathe out, you will bring your hands down. So let's do this one more time. This works very good to help you reduce weight. As I said, this looks easy, but try sitting in this pose for a longer time and you will realize that it is not as simple as it looks. Stretch your hands at the side. You breathe in, stretch your hands up. Take a deep breath in, slowly breathe out. Make sure that your focus is entirely on your breathing. If you want to increase your relaxation, you can also close your eyes in this posture. So that is complete breath awareness. So this will put you in a meditative state. Your back has to be straight. If you're not able to keep your back straight this way, you can take support of the wall. Okay, exhaling, I will bring my hands down. So every time you feel that you're not able to keep your back straight, it can be in the mountain pose, or it can be in the butterfly pose, or any asana you do, please make sure that you take support, or you make some modifications so that you don't force anything on your body. And it's important that you enjoy whatever you are doing. So you have to do these asanas, you have to practice yoga, that is definitely there. You have to every day get onto your mat and strive to get better, strive to be the best version of yourself. But then you also have to make sure that you're not hurting your body, or you're not putting your body at a very discomfort or at any kind of uneasiness. So just make sure, and from here we'll move on to our next asana, which is again a forward bend, right? So just see how to do it. You will sit with your legs stretched out. So you have to flex your feet inwards. Okay, keep your feet flexed inwards. Back has to be straight. So let your back be absolutely straight. You will inhale, take your hands up. Exhaling, you will bend forward. Now it is okay if you are only here and you're not able to go any further. Okay, stay here. No problem at all. For somebody who is just starting to do yoga, you can even be here, and I think you should be happy that you are at least, making an effort. No problem. There is no pressure to touch your toes or tuck your head down. Nothing of that sort. Okay, stay here. Again, you will take your hands up. Slowly, you will exhale. Bring your hands down. We'll do this one more time. You inhale. First, make sure that your feet is completely flexed inwards. Your back is straight. As you exhale, you have to bend forward as per your comfort. Make sure that your spine is straight and it is relaxed. Keep looking in the front. Now, if you are a yoga practitioner who is flexible, who has been doing yoga, what you can do is, once you reach your toes, you inhale, and then as you exhale, try to bring your elbows towards the floor. Now, it could also be that you're not able to touch the floor. So if your elbows are just here, close to the floor, that is also fine. Keep looking straight so that your back is maintained in a very relaxed position. Slowly you will inhale. Take your hands up. Exhaling from the sides, bring your hands down. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. Exhale. You bend forward. Hold your toes and try to go further down. Okay, we will hold this again for 10 to 15 seconds. Inhaling, you will come up. Exhaling, you will bring your hands down. So as you can see, I am not holding these poses for a longer time. I am just repeating them. So I can do it around 5 to 10 times, and that will be a good amount of compression from my abdominal area, which will again help my digestion, which will help me improve the functioning of all the abdominal organs. As you know, we have all these important organs in our abdominal area, and your liver, your pancreas, They constantly are secreting some juices, some chemicals, some hormones, and every time you're bending forward, you are helping these organs to perform their functioning better. Okay, let's do Paschimottanasana one more time. You will inhale, take your hands up, exhale, hold your toes only if you're comfortable, or stay here. Okay, take a deep breath in, slowly breathe out. Complete awareness on your breath. Okay, with every movement, you have to link your breathing. You will slowly push your elbows down. Stay here, feel the compression in your abdominal area. You will feel the stretch in your legs. You will feel a good stretch at the back of your legs, your calves, your hamstrings. You will inhale, come up, exhaling. From the sides, you will bring your hands down. Now, we did Parvatasana, right? So, if you are not able to do Padmasana, so we'll work a little on our lower body flexibility as well today, so that by the end of 21 days, you will really feel the difference in your body. You will feel that you are more flexible. You are, your mobility has improved. So for that, we'll do some basic stretches. Okay, and I love mixing these stretches with asana practice so that, we can have a smooth session, our body is warmed up and it just feels perfect. So what you do is, you will fold your one leg. So I will first fold my right leg, and the way we sit in Padmasana, the first step of Padmasana is to keep the foot this way, close to your body, right? On your upper thigh. You will just keep it this way. The other leg will be straight. My back is straight. The toes will be pointing upwards. And you will just push your knee down. Okay? So be gentle with yourself. Constantly, you will keep pushing this thigh down. Now it's okay if your leg is not touching the floor. So it could be here and you could just be pushing it down a little. That is fine. Okay? No problem at all. So make sure that you are pushing your knee down. You can do it around 10 times on each side. So this will help you relax all your nerves around your legs, your lower body, whatever tension you have. So this will help you get rid of that tension in your lower body. So this will improve your mobility. It will make your movement much more easy. Okay, we switch sides now. Same thing you will do on the other side. So you have to keep the left foot on top of your right upper thigh. The foot, the sole faces upwards. And then keep pushing your leg down. I will just give you all a front view of it as well, so that you all can see it more clearly. You will push your leg down. Okay, just 10 times. Wonderful way to begin your day. Okay, or you can do these things in the evening. That is why we have two sessions, one in the morning and one in the evening. Okay, 10 times. Try touching your knee to the floor. If it's not touching, no problem. You will still get the benefit. We will repeat the same thing one more time. So once on the right side and then on the left side. Keep your other leg straight. Lift your leg up. This time I'm lifting my right leg up. The back has to be straight. Again, if you're not able to do that, you will take the wall support. And then 10 times, keep pushing your knee down. So hopefully if you do this every day, if you practice yoga consistently, by the end of 21 days, you will definitely see a lot of improvement. So you never know, you might actually be sitting in Padmasana and doing Parvatasana. You start with Sukhasana and by the end of this challenge, you would be in Padmasana. Okay, and then you will do it on the left leg for the last time. So keep breathing, keep your awareness on your breathing. In case you have any other thoughts as you do your yoga practice, just tell your mind to again be focused on your inhalation and exhalation. Okay, and then the last few times. And then you will relax. Okay, you can also point your feet outside, you can flex it. So all these stretches will also help you. Okay, after doing the sitting leg stretches, you may feel that your legs are not comfortable. Just point your feet, flex your feet, point your toes out, and then push them at the back. So these were some of the sitting asanas that we are doing. Now the next asana we will be doing is a very famous asana actually, and that is downward facing dog. So it's an asana which we yoga practitioners use mainly as a relaxation pose because it is so great for your spine. Okay, it improves your blood flow tremendously. It is great for metabolism. So let's see how to do that. But before we start, the contraindications for downward facing dog or Adho Moksha Svanasana are if you have weak shoulders or if you have shoulder pain, okay, shoulder pain, wrist pain, then please avoid doing these poses because it is a pose wherein you are using your hands as well as your legs. So anybody having any hip injury, or if you have any lower back severe issue, like if you have severe symptoms of slip disc or sciatica, then please avoid doing these poses, or you can do them under some trained person who will guide you, who will understand what is your condition exactly, then make modifications and then guide you. Okay, so the next pose is Adho Moksha Svanasana. So let's see how to do that. You will keep your knees on the floor first. So I like to start by first going into the cat and cow posture. So you will come in this pose. Your wrist and shoulders will be in one line. Okay, your knees and your hip will be in one line. And then you keep looking in the front. You tuck your toes in. Now your toes will be tucked into the mat. Your feet will be about hip distance apart. So as we are doing it for beginners, we will keep our feet a little apart from each other. You have to inhale first and exhaling, lift your knees up and then push your lower back in. Okay, if you want, you can adjust yourself. So now if I want to take my feet a little behind, I can adjust my feet according to my comfort. Make sure that your elbows and your knees are straight. It is a possibility that your knees might be folded this way and your heels will not touch the floor. In that case, it's okay. You can just remain here. It's okay if your heels don't touch the floor or if your knees are not straight. But as much as possible, try to completely extend your legs, extend your arms and extend your spine. So as I said, this is one pose which engages your whole body. Keep pushing your forehead down. Keep pushing your crown down towards the floor. Slowly you will again bring your knees back onto the floor and you will relax. We will do this one more time. So as you can see, it is a pose which is amazing because it just lengthens your spine, which means that in case there is any muscular tension in your body, it will end up, getting rid of that. You'll just end up getting rid of all that tension, all that stress in your body. We'll do it one more time. You will come in the cat and cow pose. Okay. Wrist and shoulders in line. You will tuck your toes in. Exhaling. You have to push yourself at the back. Okay. Keep some distance between your feet so that you can balance better. Stretch your fingers nicely. And then equally distribute your weight between your palms and your legs. So there has to be equal distribution of weight. You will feel that you can naturally breathe deeply, and it is a pose which is conducive to deep breathing. So your breathing will improve. You are able to nicely open your chest cavity, expand your lungs. Stay there for more 2 breaths. So you will inhale, exhale out. One more time, you will take a long deep breath, inhale. And then slowly you will exhale and breathe out. Slowly bringing your knees down on the floor, you will relax. Okay, we'll do this one last time, and you will feel that your body just feels high on energy once you do this pose. Okay? You will feel the tension in your shoulders, you will feel something in your legs, in your abdomen, in your spine. So let's do it one last time. Come into the cat and cow pose. You will look up, okay? Tuck your toes in. As you exhale, stretch your legs at the back. If you feel that you are not able to stay or not able to hold, just come out of the posture, okay? Hold it for 2 to 3 seconds. Come out of the posture and again start doing it. So that's okay, no problem with that. Keep extending your spine. A complete attention will be on your spine and you will try to give length to your spine. And then slowly bring your knees on the floor and you will relax. So as I said, it is okay if you can't hold these poses for like a longer duration. You can keep repeating these poses. So you can do it 4 times, you can do it 5 times. You can hold it only for 4 to 5 seconds and that is perfect. No problem at all. Okay, we are done with downward facing dog. Let's do some strengthening now. So we worked on flexibility. We did some standing poses and now let's come to some arm strengthening. So I like to start with the plank. So first just see how to do that. You will again come in the cat and cow pose. Stretch your fingers nicely. So there has to be some space between your fingers. You look in the front. Wrist and shoulders have to be in one line. Stretch your legs at the back. Okay, keep looking in the front and then you have to breathe. Okay, stay here and then slowly bring your knees down and relax. So be not holding it for longer time. Just stay there as per your comfort. Even if you are able to hold for 5 seconds, stay there. Okay, people who have weak arms or people who not having that much of arm strength as of now or core strength will not be able to hold it. But please do not give up. Keep practicing, keep doing it every day and ultimately I am sure that you all will reach there. So one more time, into the cat and cow pose. Okay, you will then tuck your toes in, stretch your legs at the back, keep looking in the front. Your back and your hips have to be in one line. So I don't want your back to go down this way, this is wrong. Neither do I want your hips to come up this way. So your back has to be completely in line with your hips. So you will require some amount of core strength, some amount of arm strength. Slowly you will be working towards it. We'll hold this for a little longer duration. If you are uncomfortable, please feel free to come out of the posture. Keep pressurizing your palms. Dropping your knees onto the floor. You can also relax in the child's pose. So once your knees come down on the floor, just drop your body this way onto the mat, taking a forward fold. And take a deep breath in. Slowly exhale. Connect to your inner child. Okay. Relax your back. And then we'll be doing it one last time. So let's see and let's do it together. Placing your palms onto the mat, you will stretch your legs behind. Keep your back and your hips in line. Keep looking in the front. So I don't want you to look down this way. Neither do I want you to, strain your neck. Keep your neck comfortable and keep looking straight. Your elbows have to be straight. And then bringing your knees down. You will again go back and relax. So this was some amount of arm strengthening and core strengthening. From here, it's time to move towards the lying down asanas. So we'll be doing one thing which is called Hashtapad Angushthasana, which basically means like hand to foot pose. Okay, and we'll be doing the lying down variation of it. So you can also do this pose in standing, which I am not doing as of now because I want your back to be straight. I'm sorry. I want you to completely lie down on the floor and you will basically just have to lift your one leg up. So this is good to increase your lower body flexibility and anybody having any knee pain can do it. Okay, there's no problem for you to do it. but we'll make some little modifications here and there. So let's see how to do that. You will lie down from any one side. So this is the yogic way of lying down. You are not directly going on your back. You will first come to any one side and then lie down this way. Your lower back on the floor completely. You will have to exhale and lift your one leg up. Now if you are comfortable here, please stay here. What is important is that your other leg has to be straight on the floor. Fine, so I'm lifting my right leg. My left leg is on the floor. Okay, if you're comfortable, hold here, no problem. So if you are somebody who's having knee pain, first I will inhale, get my leg down. If you're having knee pain, this exercise is very good for you, but you only have to lift it up this much, get it down. Okay, don't try holding it for too long. Just have to inhale, lift up, exhaling. Sorry, you have to exhale and lift up. Inhaling, you have to get your leg down. Fine. So link it to a breathing pattern, exhaling up, inhaling down. But if you are somebody who is flexible enough, what you do is you will exhale, lift your leg up. Now you will again hold your big toe with your finger. Okay, this will give you a good stretch. Holding your leg this way makes it absolutely straight. Relax your neck. I'm using the same hand to hold my leg. Stay here for around 10 to 15 seconds. You will feel the stretch right from your hip joint into your thighs, your calves. Okay, wonderful stretch. And then slowly you have to inhale, bring your leg down on the floor. We'll do it on the other side. So first you exhale, get your leg up straight. You will then hold your big toe and just keep breathing and stay here. Okay, if you're not comfortable, bring your leg here, stay here, okay, and slowly bring your leg down as you inhale. So if you're comfortable, you will hold. Make sure that you're not straining your neck. Something which I have seen a lot of people do is that they will lift their neck up and they'll try to come up this way so that they can hold the foot, but then you will end up hurting your neck. So don't do that. We'll do that variation. We'll do, if you are a flexible practitioner, then how you can increase the stretch, we'll get to that. Okay, this is for those of you who want to increase the stretch, who are striving to get better. So you will first lift your leg as you exhale. You will hold your big toe and you can lift your head up, but you have to use your middle back to come up and not your neck. So the neck has to be relaxed, right? Slowly head down, inhale, leg down. Okay, one more time. For the other leg, you first exhale, hold your leg this way, and then you will look up. Only if you are comfortable. This is absolutely optional. This will give you a better stretch, more compression in your abdominal area. So this will help you work on your core a little more. You will slowly bring your head down, inhale, bring your leg down. Okay. From here, we will be moving to the next pose, which is Pavan Muktasana, which basically is great for digestion. If you're somebody suffering from constipation, this is definitely for you. You will exhale, fold your leg, and then interlock your fingers and keep compressing your thigh on your abdomen. So my lower back is on the floor. This is amazing for the lower back. Okay, if you have any lower back pain, mild lower back stiffness, this is surely for you. Okay, keep breathing. It is okay if you're not able to completely push it on your abdomen. If your leg is here, no problem, keep your hands down and just hold your leg low. Okay, or if you're just able to hold it with one leg, with one hand, please hold it only with one hand. Okay, just let your other hand be on the floor. So no problem, wherever you are, you understand your body and respect whatever your body tells you. Okay, this is Pavan Muktasana. So helps you with all your gastric troubles, indigestion, hyperacidity. Slowly inhaling, you will stretch your leg down. One more time on the other side, you have to exhale, hold your leg, push it on your abdomen, okay, and the other leg has to be absolutely straight. So you may feel that this leg is a little, off the floor initially, which is fine, but actively try to push it down. and then you will slowly inhale, straighten your leg. We will do the same thing with both legs. So you have to exhale. I am taking both my legs in and I will have both my legs. Okay, nicely compressing my legs onto my abdomen. Now if you want, you will slowly lift your head up, again using your middle back and your upper back. Neck is relaxed. You can place your forehead over your knees. Okay, I am placing my forehead over my knees this way, or just stay out. Okay, you will still get the benefit. This asana will still work for you if you relax your neck completely on the floor, no problem at all. Okay, nicely relaxing your lower back. Your lower back will be completely touching the floor. And then as you inhale, let your legs completely be on the floor. And then again, I am turning to any one side and sitting with my spine straight. So we are done for the asanas today and it's time to move towards pranayams. So we'll be starting with the very basic ones, okay, extremely basic. This is just observing your breath and learning how to breathe correctly by engaging our abdomen. So today's technique is abdominal breathing, right? So make sure that you follow it the way I do. So your back will be straight. You have to place your one hand. So I am placing my right hand on my abdomen. As you breathe in, your abdomen has to come out, and as you breathe out, the abdomen will be pushed in. So just engage your abdomen. You inhale. You can close your eyes for better relaxation. Slowly exhaling, push your abdomen in. So keep your eyes closed. You will inhale, stretch, and then exhaling, let your abdomen go back in. One more time, inhaling, let your abdomen be raised out, which means that your lungs are completely filled with air, and as you exhale, push your abdomen in. Last time, inhale and exhale. Okay, and relax. So as you see, even if you practice around 4 to 5 rounds of this breathing, your body will definitely feel more relaxed. Your mind will feel more, balanced and calm. So this is wonderful. Whenever you are feeling stressful, whenever you feel that, you feel nervous or you feel there are too many thoughts coming to your mind, this can be practiced before you sleep. So if you are somebody suffering from insomnia, or if you have a difficulty breathing, sleeping as well as breathing, if you feel that you're not able to breathe completely, sometimes you realize that you're breathing shallow, so make sure that you end up breathing correctly. So this is one thing which will help you. And as far as sleeping is concerned, you can definitely do this at night. Okay, you can lie down on your bed and do this, no problem at all. So this is a wonderful technique which will help you so much when we start with pranayams. Okay, so this is breath awareness. We'll do it one more time. Place your hand on your abdomen. You will inhale, exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and slowly you will exhale. Okay, let your abdomen go in. So I really like to end my asana practice by including some of these breathing techniques because they just help you relax your body. Okay, you can definitely do Shavasana. So we'll hopefully be doing that in one of our sessions. But today I thought it is important that we talk about breathing a little, and this was abdominal or belly breathing for you all. Now the next technique which I like a lot is equal breathing or Samavritti Pranayama. So which basically means that your inhalation and your exhalation has to be for the same duration. We don't do that, right? We never do that. So either our inhalation is longer or our exhalation is longer. So to get it equal is a challenge, right? So let's see if we can do that. So I like to give a basic count of 3. I like to use the basic count of 3. So you inhale for 3 counts, you are exhaling for 3 counts. As we did in the abdominal breathing as well, we're not manipulating breath too much as of now. Okay, this is the way we normally breathe, our normal breathing pattern. So if you feel that 3 counts is also too much for you, please feel free to follow a count of 2. So you will inhale for 2, exhale for 2. Okay, I will give a count for 3 and I'm sure that most of y'all should be able to follow along. So keep your hands on your lap. Okay, let your shoulders be pushed back. Spine remains straight. You will close your eyes and inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale out. 1, 2, 3. So I will do it now without giving the counting. I will demonstrate it for you all. Closing my eyes. Okay, I will close and open my eyes. So I have just done 3 rounds of it and I already feel the difference. I already feel a lot calmer and more, high on energy. So I will give you all a count of it and please practice along. Wonderful and a safe technique. Very good for people with high blood pressure. In fact, both these techniques which I spoke about are great for people with high blood pressure or people having cardiac issues. And you can definitely, do this. Even Samavriti Pranayam can be done at night if you want to sleep peacefully. And I will give you all a count for it. So keep your hands on your lap. You can close your eyes. Be completely relaxed. Okay, as you inhale, you have to inhale all the good things, all the positivity, and as you breathe out, you have to let go of whatever is not needed in your body. So slowly inhale. 1, 2, 3. Slowly exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. 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 And exhale. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you can slowly open your eyes and I'm sure that you feel great. You feel more relaxed, more concentrated. This is great for students, the ones who are studying, or if you are preparing for exams, if you are reading too much, working constantly. This is great to de-stress you. So we'll end our session with 3 times Om chanting. So I love to end my sessions with Om chanting. If you are not comfortable with chanting, you can just close your eyes and relax. You can just hear me. Or if you have no problems with chanting, start, get along with me. So we will inhale and as we exhale, we say Om. So your O and M will be equal, right? So keep your back straight. You will inhale. One more time, inhale. And the last time, slowly breathe in. Okay, stay there Inhale, slowly exhale out, and then open your eyes. Namaskar.